Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. And of course, it is 18 after 8 o'clock. And that means it's time for us to get this show on the road. We cross over to Dakar in Senegal. And we're going to be looking at the president, the Senegalese president's party that is tipped to win the legislative poll as some opposition parties have conceded. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the elections in Senegal, and to help us make sense of the situation in that part of Africa is a Cameroonian freelance video journalist and producer who is he covers Central and West Africa. And this time round, of course, he is covering those elections. He is Joel Kouam. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Julie, and nice to be here with you.
Thank you indeed for your time. And now we're hearing that expectations are growing or were growing that President Bassirou Diomaye's party would win the Senegal Sunday's legislative elections after supposedly two opposition leaders have conceded while votes were still being counted. Have they been counted? Is it done and dusted, or is the process still ongoing for now?
What we know is that the process is already finished. We are just waiting the final result to be published, maybe today or tomorrow. But it is clear that the results are already known, and Bassirou Diomaye Faye Party, the PASTEF, is leading with about more than 131 seats at the parliament, following by the party of former President Macky Sall and certain opposition party. But they are already sure to have the majority in order to lead the future and next parliament of Senegal. Yeah.
Okay, now we understand that the heated campaign period had revived concerns about unrest as political rivals clashed, sometimes very violently. Um, the West African nation saw some of the worst political violence in recent history ahead of the current elections that we're talking about. This happened earlier this year, particularly in March of this year. Have things settled down? And once the election results are published, are there perhaps expectations of more violence?
What we need to know for now is that Senegal is used to violence, during electoral period, and before even electoral period, there is always violence here, and particularly this election has been a source of violence, during the campaign. A lot of attacks between the partisan of rival parties. We remember that the supporter of PASTEF, the ruling party, have been attacked in several towns, and the latest was in the town of Saint Louis, where most of them have been cut. They were attacked at cutlass, and a lot of cars, a lot of property were burned. That is when the prime minister called for revenge. He also called for violence before retracting and calling his partisan to peace, to calm the latest morning following the day of attack in Saint Louis. He called for calm in Dakar. So for now, we are not going to see scene of violence after the election, because most of the opposition leader have conceded their defeat, and they have been calling to peace. They have been calling to calm, to come back just after this one.
Would you say it's been a very fair election process that actually rolled out? Was there
It,
perhaps, from your coverage, etc.? We know very sadly Mozambique has had their elections, and once the election results were published, violence broke out, terrible violence broke out. I don't think things have normalized as yet in Mozambique. And of course, if that continues, the overspill of that will be felt by all countries in Africa, very especially with South Africa, because we are their immediate neighbor. Botswana, too, went to the polls a little while ago, and it seems all of Africa is having their elections. Yesterday, I spoke to another African country, and they too had gone to the polls. So, but the point I'm trying to get at here is why is there, why do these problems play out? Do you believe, when the violence starts, it's due to the instigation by the leaders themselves that incite the people? And at the end of the day, it's the poor people who then end up killing each other and suffering. And the fat heads, the political leaders, sit very comfortably and very pretty without being affected at all by the violence on the ground.
It is a kind of play that they are doing here, and sometimes violence is instigated by, leaders like the prime minister who has been calling to revenge after the attack that they have been facing in the town of Saint Louis, and it is quite clear that they have a hand in that, calling to their partisans to follow them, calling to their partisans to be ready in case of anything, because the battle will be road. And the fact is that Senegal has a culture of democracy, and it will be quite difficult here to cheat, or to, how can I say it, to do an unfair election. And everything was clear yesterday, on Sunday, and even the minister of the interior, the security minister, recognized that everything is going well. The electoral commission recognized that everything is going well. The political leader, analysis recognized that everything was going well. The only issue was the participation, because a lot of people did not participate, did not go out to vote, maybe because of disappointment from the part of the political leader who had always been calling for violence, violence, violence every time they were not focused on their program, because the participation level, we are talking about 49%. So not a lot of people went out to vote. That is the only issue that we can note. But people here are known to be Democrats, and everyone knows that. That is why the same day when the results were published, even the political leaders, the opposition leaders, have recognized and already conceded their defeat, saying that, yeah, we know that everything went well and there is no way to contest. The victory of Pastef is clear. So it's not like other country like Mozambique, or in South Africa, like West Africa. So everything here is really, really clear, and people know that the Senegal is known and reputed to be a democratic country. Yeah.
Having said that, your voter turnout was only 49%. Does that then mean, because you had such a low turnout, that automatically this would result in the ruling party continuing their rule in your country? Why do you believe there was such a low turnout? So it's a two-pronged question. And then, when I spoke about, I used Africa as an example regarding election time. There always seems to be violence in the country that is undergoing or calling for elections. And in the past, I would have said, yes, it's always a third world country that would have these type of issues, like in the Middle East, like in Pakistan, India, etc. But I think the recent elections in the United States have also shown us how much of violence can precede election time, and how people get the wrong messages and then end up voting for the wrong party. And when the new government is in place and starts making changes, they then realize how wrong they were, that they've put their tick into the wrong box. So quite a number of issues at play here, and I think that when it's election time, people really have to think very, very circumspectly regarding these issues. And having said all of that, I await your response regarding 49% turnout, how that has hurt possibly other parties regarding the election. And then would you say it's free? It's been a free and a fair election?
It was a free and fair election according to all the observers, according to all the political analysts, all the people that we have met. But the thing is that we are talking about 39% because people are tired. The the campaign has raised a wave of violence so that they were not focused on their program. You know, most of the people that we're talking to are saying, we just need peace to come back. We are out to vote because we want peace. We want Senegal to be like previous past. Because according to them, according to most of people, the new party who arrived recently at the power, the pastef, they are not working. They are doing nothing. They are just picking. And it was a means for the people to show them that you just need to go and work. Now, you wanted to have the parliament. You didn't have the majority in the parliament. Now we gave you the majority in the parliament because it could have been a justification for you to say that we don't have the hand on the parliament to pass our bill, to pass our law. So we give you the majority. Go and work. That is all what we want. Stop
Okay.
talking. Stop insulting. Go and work. Yeah.
You're saying the people are saying, go out, do the work, let us see the results.
Yeah.
What are they promising? What sort of promises have they made to the Senegalese people? And do you sit with a similar problem that the rest of not only Africa, but all around the world? We know that we're all grappling with youth unemployment. Do you have a similar problem in Senegal as well?
Of course, it is very high. The youth unemployment here is very high. You know, we are talking about 25%, around 25% and plus, because we don't have the exact clear figure. But a lot of youth are desperate. A lot of youth doesn't have employment. A lot of youth are leaving the Senegal. They are running. You know, Senegal is confronted to what we call immigration. They are going to Europe by sea. A lot of them are dying in the port on the ocean because they just try to reach Spain, they try to reach Europe, and most of them die. We caught a boat with about 200 people, 100 people who are trying to leave, and it is almost youth people. Senegal is confronted to a lot of problem, the housing crisis because rent costs here are very high. The cost
Okay,
of life is
Joe.
very high. Yeah,
Joe, please, may I ask you to hold that thought? We'll come back to it right after the ad break. I think
yeah.
this is a very important issue you're raising, where young people are leaving their countries and they go on these illegal boats to try and reach Europe, hoping for a better future. And that's not necessarily true. But right
Yeah.
after the ad break, please.
Okay.
Head with Salam Media. This is Salam Media coming to you live from South Africa.
Send food and send kindness to those who have lost their homes and have been plunged into poverty. For those who are a meal away from starvation, a food parcel means an entire family can eat this Ramadan. That's the power of food. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
You South African, of course. You anxious about the future. We've got you covered. Build on your wealth portfolio with Rendry Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange. Visit us at 151 Stephen Dlamini Road, Musgrave, Durban, or call us on 031 202 4700 for more information. Rendry Jewelers Gold Coin Exchange, your passport to gold investment.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +2733 346 2071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Albeit Lodge, your true home away from home. Albeit is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Albeit has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albeitlodge.co.za.
Our brothers and sisters in Palestine are enduring unimaginable hardships. Ashraful Aid teams are on the ground delivering crucial aid to those in need. But we can't do it alone. Palestine is suffering and they need your help. Your support can make a world of difference. Visit www.ashrafulaid.org today and donate to bring hope, relief, and healing to those who are in need.
Connect and stay with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Welcome back. It is exactly 8:36 a.m. Central African time. We are talking with Joel Kouam. He is a Cameroonian freelance video journalist and producer, and he does huge coverage in Central and West Africa. He's just done covering the Senegal local elections. And of course, that's what we're talking about. A couple of questions that I put to him before the ad break, and I'm going to cross over to him and let him respond. The first question was, because there was only a 49% voter turnout, does that mean that people that didn't vote then automatically, even though they didn't vote, that automatically the current ruler then gets voted in? Was it free and fair? And he said, yes, it was free and fair. The big issue is, will Parliament now do the work, and will they fulfill the promises they made, very especially to the youth of the country? They're sitting at an youth unemployment rate of somewhere around the mid-20s. News for you, here in South Africa, it's in the mid-30s. So yeah, it's a dire situation. And because of that situation, youth unemployment, a lot of the youth, as a lot of the youth in North and West Africa are doing, they get onto these illegal ferries, migrant ferries, and they try and reach Greece, Spain, Turkey, the English Channel, France, all of those places. And we know what has been happening. Either the boats capsize and the youths lose their lives, or once they get to their destinations, they are put into camps because Europe is now saying enough is enough. We can't take these migrants in any longer. They say they're bursting at the seams. So, Joel, welcome back. We have digressed slightly from the elections, but this is the result of things, Parliament not putting its house in order. And because of that, you have migrants, legal and illegal, leaving Senegal and other African countries. Over to you.
Yes, Julie, you are right because since decades, uh, politic, political leaders, former government have not really addressed the issue of youth, the question of youth in those countries, in this country especially. And we have been talking to a lot of youth. They say, we don't have a future here in Senegal. We do not have a future. What can we do? There is no work, there is no job, there is nothing. Life is very expensive here in Senegal, especially in Dakar, even for Senegalese people. Imagine if a foreigner is complaining that life is very hard, everything is expensive, house rent is expensive, transport is expensive. Imagine how a Senegalese is living. So they say the only hope for us is to live. And since 8-1 of the arrival of the current leading party, the PASTEF, nothing has changed. Things are going bad to bad. And according to those youth, they say, okay, they promise us that we'll have jobs, that everything will change. But unfortunately, nothing has changed. And the only way for us to have something is to try to get in Spain illegally, is to try to get in Brazil illegally so that they can easily get to United States illegally. That is their only way to be safe. And that is the problem. Now, that is why they are saying, please, you wanted to have the majority in order to fulfill your promise. You promised us a lot of things, and you were complaining that you don't have a hand in the parliament. Now we have been giving you the majority. Go and work. That is all that we want. People are tired of speaking. People are tired of noise. They are specialists of noise, according to those who have the meat on the ground. And they say, now it is time for you to work. Go and work. If not, you will be sanctioned.
Okay, so let's understand what those sanctions would look like. But more importantly, let's go back to the illegal migrants. Do you not have a law in place in Senegal preventing them from leaving? Or is the government all too happy for them to leave because there's nothing they can do for your people? Is that the sad reality of your situation?
I remember recently we have a sad situation where an illegal boat capsized in Mbour, in the town of Mbour, and about 120 people died. Uh, uh, it was sad to notice that inside the people who died, it was only the youth and the youth of a community, the youth of Mbour, and women with child and women with unborn baby who died in the boat who capsized, the illegal boat who capsized. And it's something which is known here. Communities know what is going on, what is going. And that time, the president went to Mbo and said, we'll put in place a line for people, to denounce all those people who are organizing those trips, because the people who are organizing those trips are known. They are very well known in the town, in the main town, in villages area, because Senegal is bordered by coast, bordered by water. They are known, but there is a sort of government doesn't have all the possibility to control and to stop that the effect, and to stop people who are trying to go. They are doing their possible. They are helping by Spanish Marine with Mauritania Marine, but it is not sufficient, because every day you are hearing that people are trying to go. How are they going out without being caught, without being arrested? But it is also important to notice that Marine is also doing an amazing job, because recently they have been stopping some boats from going out of Senegal. Yeah.
Okay, my final question to you, we need to wrap up, is you spoke about sanctioning the government if they don't deliver. What is that sanction going to look like? Are you going to depose the government? Does civil society have the muster? Do they have the rights? Is it legal? Would they be able to do that? What does the word sanction mean in your mind?
In fact, when they are talking about sanction, it is just at the end of the role of the current party because they have 5 year term. They will vote for another one who is able to fulfill the promise and to save because they want Senegal to be safe, you know. And at the end of 5 year ruling term, they will say, okay, we are done with you. We want another one because you were unable to satisfy the youth. Youth put all their trust on you and you were unable. And if things are not going as youth want, as youth wish, you will see a lot of protests because Senegal is used to protest every time. So we will not surprise to see a lot of protests in coming months if things are not done on the right way.
Okay, and I also understand that the World Bank was going to give Senegal a loan running into billions of dollars, but they've put a hold onto that for now. Do you know what was that dependent on? Are they waiting to see what sort of new policies will be put in place before they release that loan? How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, they are waiting to see the policy which will be put in place because ruling parties say there is no more money. Everything has been stolen by the former government, have been embezzled. So they are waiting to see what will happen. That is why they have putting a hold on what is going on the money that they were supposed to loan to Senegal. And some people are saying that Senegal can even reimburse what they have perceived in previous times. So there is a lot of problem that the current government need to fix in order to have the loan in 2025 next year.
Joel, Kouam, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. Good luck to you, to your new government, to the people of Senegal. And we just hope it's going to be 5 years of prosperity for the people of Senegal. Go well. God bless.
Thank you, Jolie. Thank you so much. Thank you to have me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
It is exactly 8:46. News and views moving along. Time for an ad break before we are joined by our next guest.
We are here in the middle of a Zahra neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is already destroyed. More than 17 towers are down. Here, as you can see, the firefighters trying their best to help the people are still under the rubble. A lot of the people.
Join Hamza on his exclusive South African tour as he shares his personal experiences, never before seen footage, and powerful insights on the ongoing genocide in Gaza. This is more than just a talk. It's an invitation to witness Gaza through the lens of Hamza Sha'alan. Don't miss this opportunity to meet the photojournalist who brought Gaza's pain and perseverance to the world in its darkest moments. Follow Salam Media on social media pages for more on this tour and be